Next, we're talking with Willie on KTSA. So if you live in an apartment complex, what these folks at Sonterra Heights are hearing, what should you do?
That's a very tough question, right? Because you understand, those apartment complexes, those sounds of echo, they bounce off those walls and go down those halls.
Right.
What may sound far away, maybe right in your back door, or what may be far away.
And sometimes these buildings are kind of clustered.
It's not what you like. It's not what you like. You know, stay inside and have cover so that way you don't become, a victim of hot fire.
So that's obviously our instinct when we hear something is to go check it out. It's actually really hard not to, but it sounds like what you're saying makes the most sense. His company is Blue Armor Security. Willie Yang, as always, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
Talk to you soon. It's 4:47 on San Antonio's News Talk Station, 550 and 107.1 KTSA. You can see the latest on the Sonterra Heights story at ktsa.com. We're going to get an update on KTSA time saver traffic. A lot more stuff to talk about as well. New JR poll. If you don't have a primary care physician, you can find medical care everywhere, right? Every strip mall has an urgent care or a walk-in clinic, and there's maybe telemedicine in your insurance plan. And I'm not running those things down at all. They all have a place in our picture. But look, as you get into middle age or older, and if there are people in your life absolutely counting on you, then you probably should have a doctor you can absolutely count on. Somebody that knows you, somebody who's got like your whole history, and so that you're not presenting a symptom without any context, which is what happens if you walk into one of these places. They don't know the history behind that or the precedent for it. So that's why I went to Health Texas. I actually found a doctor that I read some good reviews on and liked the sound of, and found on their website where his location was, and it was pretty near where I live. And you can do that too. HealthTexas.org will show you there are 18 clinics in our region and where they are and who's at each one of them. All of them have great doctors and nurses and physician's assistants, and all of them have telemedicine if you want that app when you're one of their patients. There's a proprietary app you get to use that kind of helps you get just basic questions answered about prescriptions and stuff like that. HealthTexas.org is how to find yourself a primary care physician. Go to healthtexas.org.
On the east side, Loop 410 southbound at Houston Street, there's a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane. There's a solid backup from 35. It's at least a 15-minute slowdown. Loop 1604 eastbound at Heathner, that stalled vehicle still blocking the right shoulder. There is a 5-minute delay. Leinster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and they've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters, and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself. Save big. Blindster.com. I'm Rebecca Parker, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
These are today's top headlines.
Trump's tsunami of executive orders overwhelm and confuse lawmakers on both sides. Cities are taking sides for and stands against Trump's new immigration demands. 7 SAPD officers were shot while responding to a suicide in progress.
Don't miss a thing. Stay connected for whatever's next.
News Talk 550.
Specialist for historic high-rise. Call.
Start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
My resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym, go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Water softener you'll ever own.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. How often do you take a bath these days? If you're like me, your bathtub doesn't get used anymore. It just sits there. Hey,
Trey Ware here for Safe Showers. They specialize in removing that old, dangerous bathtub of yours and replacing it with a beautiful designer walk-in shower. Now, these stunning new showers will give you the look and feel of a complete bathroom remodel without that high price tag, and you can customize them to fit your exact taste and style.
Noah.
Your walk-in shower installed in one
Your room better be clean by the time I get home.
And I hear from people all the time how it completely changes the look and feel of their bathroom, like a complete remodel without the hassle and cost. And right now, listen to this. Get $1,000 off your new shower, and if you're one of the first 5 callers right now, Safe Showers will take another $500 off your project. Call Safe Showers right now, 210-655-1111, and tell them you heard Trey talking about it. Or go to their website, safeshowers.com. 210-655-1111.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pick up Dutch for new blinds. Go to
Get smart with your smart speaker.
Watch that Foods Buster.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KTSA.
Now streaming on your Amazon Echo.
Jack Riccardi at 550 and 107.1 KTSA will kick into the weekend with a dish tomorrow in our 6 o'clock hour. I don't know if I believe that story about CNN having a big come to Jesus meeting about how they covered Trump. I don't. I'll believe it when I see it. But let's try a little of this. This was a segment on CNN about public support. They were doing their coverage of the deportations, which are happening all around the country. We're going to talk about it. They're picking up some very dangerous people. And when you think about the fact that these people are available to be picked up, I don't think this will shock or surprise you, but I think the people in the mushy middle of American politics are going to consume this news with kind of disbelief and shock that these people got into the country. And
I guess how about the store first?
They knew where they were, but there was no will to pick them up.
Try to clear out the drain. I guess up at Walmart. And buy the drain snake. Then I'd be headed home.
Illegal immigrants. Cut number 2. This is Harry Anton on CNN.
So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deported all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is very clear indication that the majority of Americans, in fact, when they ask this one question, which I really gets at the underlying feelings, do you in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally? There's no argument with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different cultures.
So if they say yes today-ish, how is that?
Yeah, this is where I think you get very interested. And so we'll take a look at that ABC News question in particular because you can really see that there's a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago. Right when he was rolled back out. You go back to 2015, when the year subsequent, it was 42%. You go to 2016, it was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is really, really clear that was just before Trump got into office the first time.
I love the Arab discovery. It's like CNN discovered a new planet, right? We're sitting here like, yeah, we want to deport illegal immigrants. That sounds like a good idea. But we just came up with, that's like, what's he supposed to be doing that? That's, there's something wrong. If they're here illegally, that's what we should be doing. CNN was like, wow, look at this. But this is why, right? And I do believe, by the way, I do believe their poll numbers when they say the number was lower 10 years ago. You know why? Because probably a lot of people just assumed stuff like that was getting done. The last several years have been one shocking, Lake and Riley type story after another. It's sad, but it took those tragedies and those atrocities, the attention of some of your fellow Americans that were kind of sleepwalking. When I was first doing this show on the other radio station in the 90s, I used to have Michelle Malkin on. You remember Michelle Malkin? I really liked her, and I'm not sure why we stopped having her on. It wasn't like a decision to stop. We just kind of lost contact with Michelle, but she was a very big conservative commentator in the 90s. She wrote a book called Invasion about illegal immigration, and at the time there was this faux outrage that she would call it an invasion. Back then, the refrain from illegal immigrant apologists was, do you remember this phrase? They do the work, Americans don't want.
I don't know what happened. Just messed up. I don't know where.
And I remember thinking, what a stupid claim, because it's easily disproven and insulting to people you're trying to persuade. Calling people lazy without calling them lazy. It's like that. Talking to people just make a good point. Talk about who's saying it and why it's accuracy. I guess it's another throwback Thursday show. It's throwing back to that too. Talk about that. We've got many other things we will get into with you. Call us at 210-599-5555 on today's JR poll, City Oil Surgery. Are you interested in the government declassifying the JFK MLK files? Today, President Trump signed that order, and by the way, we're talking about that coming up as well after the news here on KTSA.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's new First Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old home. It's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right. You don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. And no more rushing out for showings.
Can you guess where I'm at right now?
Because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
For more than 50 years, Orchard and Joe A. Elvis has helped capture people involved in garbage trucking accidents. He's a personal injury lawyer, born and raised right here in San Antonio. Call 210-736-4040 for a free consultation. Visit GomezLawBites.com. Always remember Gomez Law Bites. News Talk 550, KTSA, and FM 107.1. Keeping you connected to San Antonio and your world.
It's 5 o'clock, KTSA San Antonio. I'm Christian Blood. 6 of 7 San Antonio police officers expected to recover after they were all shot Wednesday night. In fact, all but one headed home from the hospital as we speak. It all happened around 8:30 in Stone Oak when officers were called to an apartment complex because of a reported suicide attempt. But when they showed up, police say 46-year-old Brandon Poulos started shooting. Officers were hit one by one as they arrived. Later on, SWAT broke into the apartment, and Poulos was found dead inside. It's not yet known if police shot him or if he killed himself. President Trump's push to end birthright citizenship getting blocked by a federal judge temporarily, but the new administration doesn't sound the least bit surprised.
Put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, and there's no surprises with that judge.
Trump is looking to stop what's sometimes called anchor babies. This is when illegal immigrants come into the U.S. and then they give birth to a child that automatically becomes a U.S. citizen. Trump wants that right to apply only when children have at least one parent who's a citizen or a permanent resident. The Texas legislature is proposing $1 billion outlay for school voucher programs over the next 2 years.
The voucher program would use public money to help pay for a private school. 2 years ago, Democrats opposed the plan and Republicans were divided. A number of GOP opponents of the bill were voted out in the primaries, so
more conservative party is giving it another try this year. The Senate's budget proposal also includes nearly $5 billion to increase teacher pay. Don Morgan, KTSA News.
It's no secret Texas continues to grow, but one city northeast of Dallas is trying to put on the brakes.
The suburb of Princeton's about 10 miles east of McKinney, but is one of the fastest growing cities in the U.S. In fact, it was the third fastest growing city in 2023. But Mayor Eugene Escobar Jr. wants to hold off on any home building for another 180 days. This follows a previous moratorium of the same time frame. The city wants to slow everything down so a 10-year plan for infrastructure and public safety can take shape. Patrick Johnson, KTSA News.
KTSA News time is 5:02. It's time for KTSA Sports, sponsored by Stevens Roofing. And let's get to it for Joe Reinagel.
The Spurs snapped their three-game losing streak in a big way. They crushed the Indiana Pacers in Paris today, 140-110. Victor Wembanyama had 30 points, 11 boards, 6 assists, and 5 blocks in the win. They'll play the Pacers again in Paris on Saturday, 11 o'clock tip-off San Antonio time. The Dallas Cowboys coaching search continues today, although there are reports that the boys are finalizing a deal with offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. In fact, Clarence Hill of All City Dallas is saying the sides could cross the finish line today or tomorrow. Add that to the report by NFL insider Josina Anderson, who says some of the head coaching prospects the Cowboys have interviewed have been told or are not expecting second interviews, including Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Speaking of Moore, he is expected to interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars for their head coaching vacancy. And the NFL awards finalists have been announced, and the MVP finalists are Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson. I'm Joe Reinagel for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
KTSA Time Saver traffic and your KTSA AccuWeather forecast, both coming up.
It covers your home, it covers your family. You need a reliable roofing. Whether it's a commercial project or a residential project, metal or composition, they're licensed by the city of San Antonio, and estimates are always free at 210-785-0994. And you know these days, everyone is looking at saving money. So, if you've been thinking about going solar, Stevens Roofing has you covered. Solar panels are increasingly affordable with possible tax credits and incentives. With solar, you can save money on your monthly utility bills. Plus, solar will often increase the value of your home. There are even options to keep the lights on if the grid goes down and financing is available. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
My name is Kelly. I want to tell you about Dr. Jacob Torres and Institute for Functional Health. I met Dr. Torres 5 years ago. I was in my late 40s, gaining that middle-age bulge, feeling less energetic, and I had aches and pains in my back and shoulder. My cholesterol, blood sugar, and other measurable numbers were okay, but not good. My cardiologist suggested if I did not change my habits, I may need to start taking pills to manage my health. I was not looking forward to spending Sunday evenings counting up my pills for the week. I phoned Institute for Functional Health to set an appointment with Dr. Torres. Over the next few weeks, Dr. Torres totally changed my life. I'm now 53 years old. I do not take medicines. I lost over 40 pounds, and my weight has remained amazingly consistent. Most importantly, I feel great. I'm able to do things at 53 that I was not able to do at 45. Dr. Torres is my hero. He changed my life.
I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free consultation at 468-1891. That's 468-1891.
Hi, this is Bob Webster from my friends over at Fanix, and they want me to tell you about their first big event of the season, and it comes up on January 25th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And it's going to be a really special thing. It's going to be all about fruit trees. The presenter is Dr. Larry Stein with the Texas HyperLife Extension Service, and Dr. Stein is very experienced, and, well, I guess he's probably one of those knowledgeable people in the whole Forest Service. They're going to cover things like fruit trees, they're going to cover citrus, grapes, cover pretty much everything you want to plant out in the orchard, and they'll talk to you about
January 25th at FedEx. KTSA News Time, 5:07. Great time to get with Rebecca Parker for some KTSA time saver traffic.
On the east side, Loop 410 southbound at Houston Street. That stalled vehicle was just cleared out of the way. There's a 10-minute slowdown from 35. Loop 1604 eastbound at Keekner. Watch for a stalled car. It's off to the right shoulder. There's a 5-minute delay from I-10. Highway 90 westbound at Hunt Lane. There's an accident. It's being pushed off to the right shoulder. There is about 5 minutes of stop and go. I'm Rebecca Parker, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
KTSA AccuWeather.
Going to be clear, quite cold overnight, dipping down to 16 in the hill country, 26 along the River Walk. Then we're sunny tomorrow, 59. Sun at first turns cloudy Saturday, also 59 degrees. And then a brief shower starts Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jeff Nordine with your KTSA Stevens Roofing AccuWeather forecast.
Right now it's 57 degrees, clear skies at San Antonio's severe weather station, 550 KTSA and FM 107.1. I'm Christian Blood, KTSA News.
I'll tell you what, these days, it has been hard to keep up. Like I was thinking today, I'm not sure that anybody I've talked to or listened to, I've listened to shows, podcasts, watched coverage, and read people. And I don't think anybody really has their arms around all the executive orders. I don't think anybody has them like at their instant recall. It's been an onslaught. It's been an avalanche. I do think, I said this earlier in the week, I really do think part of the design of that was to overwhelm the opposition so that there cannot be a singular focus. We've seen, like in previous administrations, comes for one nominee, and I think that the design here was that the mob would get Pete Hegseth, they'd stop Pete Hegseth, that would stop the momentum of the new administration, that would frustrate, maybe even bait the president into losing his